guys have get confused by the passive voice. So that is a way that you can actually obscure your meaning and try and confuse the people who you're talking to. It's not wrong, it's not grammatically incorrect. I know you mentioned that you said that the active voice was the more grammatically correct version. They're both correct. One is just more clear and concise than the other. There are some times that you would want to use the passive voice, but for our essay writing, which one do you think we're going to use? Active. Thank you. Okay, so you said backwards. Can someone think of a straightforward action sentence that we want to use? I was going to have Kyle be here and tell us something about baseball, but he's not here today, so. The dog chased the bone. Awesome. So.
The ball. The ball.
The ball.
The ball.
The dog chased the ball.
I haven't coffee yet, don't judge me.
Where'd Kyle go?
Ball. Okay, so we have the dog chase the ball. We've got our verb right here in the middle, right? Where's our subject?
Dog.
The dog. And what is it chasing?
The ball.
The ball. Awesome. So how we make a passive sentence is we do exactly what Alicia told us to do, and we flip it inside out. Our second noun becomes our subject. So if I start the sentence with the ball, how would I finish this sentence to make it mean the same thing as that? Was chased
By the dog.
by the dog. Awesome. Okay, so do you see how this is a little bit more difficult to understand? It's a little wordier. It's not quite as aggressive. Something was chased by. It wasn't actually the one doing the chasing. So one way that you can remember it is think about the actual motion that goes with it. So if I'm going to push Kyle, Kyle, back up. You just got pushed. Active, right? Okay, so now you're the one saying it. You were pushed by me, right? So if I'm getting pushed by Kyle, I'm moving back. Does that make sense? I pushed Kyle. I was pushed by Kyle. Try and get some sort of motion that goes with it to help you remember. Okay, so times when you use the active voice, we talked about, just to recap for Kyle real quick here. We talked about how it's more clear and concise when you're doing your writing, since we're working on our essays for that step next week. Politicians like to use the passive because it's a little bit more confusing. Someone else throw out a sentence for me that we can use that we can change from active to passive. What's an active sentence? Hannah, you got something? You look like it's on the tip of your tongue.
I'll think of say baseball one.
Ooh, okay, Kyle.
She wanted her
That's right. You
dog.
do. So you've got your baseball jersey on today, so I want to see if you had something from baseball we can use.
The boy hit the ball, and then the passive was the ball was hit by the boy.
The ball was hit by the boy. Awesome job. He took the boy, hit the ball was hit by the boy. So again, we turned it inside out, and we flipped those two nouns in the sentence. Now, by a show of thumbs up, yes, I understand. Thumbs in the middle, I don't understand. Thumbs down. How are we feeling about the active versus the passive? Do you feel comfortable? All right, so it looks like this class is really quick, and we're feeling pretty comfortable with it. I like that. Okay, so can anyone think of another time when you might use the passive voice? Think creative writing.
Maybe when writing short stories.
Yeah, you can use it when you're writing short stories. It gives it a bit of a different voice, right? The dog chased the ball sounds, very exciting, aggressive, and it's something very big that's happening in the story. The ball was chased by the dog. It's a little more lackadaisical, right? It's not quite as strong as the first one. So if you're trying to make something big and exciting, you're going to keep it active, right? Like an active teacher, an active student has a lot of motion. They've got a lot of things going on. Passive teacher, it's just something that happened. They're just kind of hanging out. So same kind of thing, but a little bit different if you're writing a mystery. So if I say, the cookies were stolen, right? It's a little bit different than saying somebody stole the cookies, because your focus is on a different subject, right? Do you want your focus to be on the dog, or do you want your focus to be on the ball? What's the important part of your story? Is this, the magic ball that you need to save the world? Because then we're probably more interested in the ball that's getting chased by the dog, right? If it's our dog that's chasing the ball across the street and it's going to run away from home, we're probably more interested in the dog.